what is the compliance levels of Polymarket? Like who holds them accountable?
Well, my understanding is that these are marketplaces, and so actually Tesla has to hold their employees accountable, right? You can't go and you trade on
so
material.
Polymarket has zero risk.
I think that there's probably some risk that they take, right? If they're facilitating certain things, if they're not KYCing people, like, there's regulatory risk. These are Kalshi, I think, was the first regulated U.S. market under the CFTC.
Has Polymarket ever had a lawsuit? Can you look up has Polymarket?
Well, the two of them, one's regulated, one's not regulated, kind of definitionally. One's crypto-oriented, one's cash-oriented.
Yeah, and
including settlement with U.S. commodity futures in 2020. Well, it has not named it in a formal lawsuit. Action generated to see if there's Polymarket for offering illegal, unregistered trading contracts, which the agency defined as swaps. Polymarket ordered $1.4 million, which is nothing. Shut down non-compliant markets and so on.
So Polymarket started and really went and won internationally. Kalshi started regulated in the United States. Think Coinbase versus Binance. And now Polymarket is coming to the U.S. and Kalshi is going international. So they're both going to end up being domestic and international. They just took kind of two different paths to get there. But that's where
who's bigger?
So interesting. Polymarket was huge. Kalshi has gone from like 4 or 5% of the market to like 70% of the market in the last
dollar contracts
year or two.
From 4 to 70?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you look up just like Polymarket versus Kalshi market share, a big part of it is one is more crypto native versus the other.
September, Kalshi surpassed Polymarket and become the market leader, capturing 60% of global production.
Yeah,
but the shift was largely driven by Kalshi's partnership with Robinhood. Got it, which gave it a large user base and a surge in sports-related
Click on like images. I think there's like this great chart that that'll show. No, that's like individual ones. There's this great. I'll try to find it, but there's this great chart that basically shows the reversal. And so again, like now, Polymarket's going to launch at the end of this month or beginning of next month in the United States, and so there's going to be a real battle. Like remember a couple years ago, FanDuel, DraftKings, all these guys they were pouring money into customer acquisition.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's going to happen in these prediction markets
and outfield walls.
Outfield walls.
so then that means great acquisition by who is
ICE.
Yeah, that great acquisition by ICE. We're picking him up.
Yeah, here you go.
Adam.
So, I mean, this is just, the last year? You can see Kalshi versus Polymarket. I mean, it was basically Kalshi was getting their ass kicked, and now all of a sudden, they've got more than 50% market share.
It's interesting you were asking about regulation. It's illegal for me to say this. Hey, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but I just closed a deal for $600 million of Tesla windshields over the next 2 years. That's illegal to say. But to say, how you doing, Tom? My company's having a great year. We're having a really great year. We're private, but our investors are really happy. There's nothing illegal about that. Isn't Tesla one of your largest? Yeah, they're actually our largest customer. I can't say how large. Just that's plenty for you to say, okay, Tom's having a great year. He makes windshields. Tesla is his largest. Those are the kernels that end up in the river that gets traded. So how do you, on that, Pat, how do you go compliance on that?
So
where you have a downstream vendor who's actually not trying to be slimy or trying to be cute or clever, and maybe wasn't. You're going to have the day where somebody from Polymarket or Kalshi runs around the back of the barn and gives somebody, crypto in a second wallet to give them information. There is your compliance issue. There is where but the manipulation won't be at the market level. The manipulations can be the betting market in $1 million $1 contracts that are on Kalshi. That's where some people will get hurt and say, this isn't fair. Now we have to step in. What do you think?
I think that there are a lot of regulatory questions that are going to have to get figured out here, because also I think what becomes really interesting is as you isolate these data points, it's if you work at a vendor and they're making windshields and you go and you buy Tesla stock because you say, hey, I like the Tesla car. I think that they're ordering a lot of windshields, whatever, right? Again, depending on all the details, regulators have a point of view. If all of a sudden, though, you go and you say there's a prediction market on how many windshields is Tesla going to order this year, right? Because you could isolate that one data point.
And you buy yourself 10,000 contracts at 60% yes?
Right, that's a different story. So
right.
I think that, now look, the reason why it's taking off in the United States right now is sports. It's not finance, it's sports. And in sports gambling, there's a line, right, which kind of skews it. And you're betting against a book. These prediction markets is peer-to-peer. So it's just you and I sitting down and saying, are the Browns going to win or not?
They're not. I promise you that.
Right? Are the Giants going to win or not?
Maybe.
So now all of a sudden, it's a little bit, quote unquote, more level playing field. And so a lot of people are moving over here because they're saying, wait a second, I can go and I can still get the same engagement of I'm betting on sports, but I'm not betting against a Vegas book with a line. And so I think that is why you're seeing so much.
What is the business
explosion.
model of Polymarket? Like, it takes a percentage? Is that what it does?
I think they both just take 1%, if I remember correctly.
Can you pull it up, Rob? Like, how much does Polymarket or Kalshi take? Like, what's their business model? How do they make money? Do you have an idea, Tom?
Yeah, I think
because 1% is not a lot of money.
Well, that's
No,
that's what the big banks charge for
And
AUM,
what
right?
I'm saying to you is, as a
2%
person
fee
that's
rate
doing
here.
it, I'm open to it. Like, but the dollars, it ends up becoming a lot for them. So,
Polymarket 2%.
2% fee on net winnings from trades, fees and markets. So it also benefits from trading fees on net winnings. When a user makes a profit, Polymarket takes a 2% net winnings, for example. That's nothing.
Well, if you do any traditional betting, the juice is always 10%, the VIG, right? So this is significantly less.
Yeah, you bet $100. So you win 200. You receive 198. It takes $2 off. That's nothing.
It's nothing compared to this.
Yeah, it's a marketplace. It's like eBay or Airbnb. It's the small part. Correct.
So what was Polymarket's revenue in 2024? Maybe 2025. What's Polymarket's revenue this year? Curious. 2025. What are they done Q2 or 2025 total trading volume 7.7 billion. Total revenue is not available. Well, just take 7.7 billion and take 2%, right? So, which can be significantly higher in activity. Activity has remained elevated in 2020. Single month of September trading, $1.42 billion and $1.5 billion. So 7.7. So if you take 2% on 7.7 billion, it's $150 million, $155 million.
Ain't when it used to be, Pat, that $150 million. We all know
$155 million that becomes a $77 billion. It's $1.5 billion. And what is the market cap of Polymarket? What is Polymarket's market cap?
Polymarket was $9 billion with the ICE investment, and Kalshi was like $5 billion.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, these things are big.
And the U.S. elections, Kalshi.
Nothing, though.
I like Kalshi a lot.
$5 billion?
I quote Kalshi.
You don't think Kalshi is going to be a $50 billion company?
Oh, I think
it's going to be bigger than that.
That's what I'm saying. So $5 billion is a steal. It's like TikTok. They just bought it for $14 billion. The number they're looking at trading TikTok is $14 billion, and they're allowing ByteDance to keep 20%, but the other 80% Oracle's coming in. I think TikTok's $1 trillion asset.
Rob and I have quoted the Kalshi polls in here and the stuff we're covering, and the reason is I'm looking back and I'm finding them like Rasmussen and Atlas Intel were correct. They're right about a lot of these elections. They're right, and so the more they're right, the more it's a valuable voice. Like I say, Rob and I use it.
Rob, can you? I'm sorry, Pom. While you're doing that, can you pull up who gave the $300 million? If you go to Crunchbase for Kalshi, see who gave that $300 million that they just raised. Go ahead.
Like
you were saying.
I think it's like Founders Fund and Sequoia. You want to know what the most interesting markets on these prediction platforms? The weather. So if you think about it, if you're a prediction market, what do you want? You want something that has a lot of volume, but also you want something that settles often. So if you do an election, it's only once every 4 years. So you can have lots of people betting, but there's only one-time settlement. Right. And so every 4 years, it's a big number, but it's not that frequent.
The weather.
So these prediction markets have weather markets where people are literally sitting there trying to predict what is the highest temperature, the aggregate temperature number that will happen in New York or Chicago or San Francisco or Austin or Miami or whatever. Now, again, I'm not going to go bet on the weather. But what I think is very interesting is, what is going to happen? That economic reward that sits out there, somebody's going to figure out a more accurate way to predict the weather. It's going to incentivize innovation, right? And so you're telling me that there's not hedge funds? You're telling me there's not hedge funds that are sitting there saying, hey, if I got a couple $1 million every day on the line, I can't go figure out how to better measure.
Don't do it in Florida because it's very volatile here. Bet in Texas, bet in LA, bet in Palm Springs.
So to answer your question, Kalshi's Series D, all the adults showed up. Sequoia's been there since Series A. Sequoia's in there, General Catalyst, also pronounced General Narcissist, and then Andreessen Horowitz and Spark Capital are in there. So the adults are at the table in Series D, $300 million.
Listen, this is a steal, if you ask me. This is an absolute steal of $5 billion. Okay, No, this is my opinion, guys. I'm not telling you go buy or do anything. I don't even know if you can participate because you gotta be on the. But it's a no-brainer. This ain't going away. This is a new way of doing it, and it's going to be another disruptor for a lot of other companies out there. Adam,
there seems to be three different camps here, and I want you to kind of maybe isolate this. There's the big banks, big government. Obviously, Trump and everyone on that side of things have advocated for crypto. BlackRock, you mentioned, Goldman Sachs, they're all doing their ETFs. You talked about that. So that's one, the big stuff, the big markets. Number two, you sort of have like this day trading, gambling, Polymarket crowd who I would say are young or savvy and they're trying to make money. And it's a lot of entertainment. And then the third, I just say, are just the average guy. It's like, dude, I don't even know what the hell you guys are talking about. How do those all things intertwine? Whereas like the big banks are making all this money. You have the day traders using this for entertainment. You called it sort of like this asset allocation breakdown. And then you have the average guy being like, dude, I can't even spell ETF. How do you correlate and cross all these three together?
Well, I think that the Wall Street Journal had a great article recently that said people who are on the lower end of the income level, they are participating in the stock market at a rate that we've never seen before. So what you're getting is that like average Joe, average American, they are starting to understand I cannot save, I have to invest in the market, right? And here you go. So more working class Americans than ever are investing in the stock market.
Right.
That's a great thing for the American citizen. Now, what that means is they're going to do one of two things. They're either going to come into the market and they're going to gamble and speculate and do all kinds of crazy stuff and get blown up and lose their money, or they are going to actually come into the market and they're going to be sophisticated. They're going to buy things, use timeless investing principles. One of the data points that I pay a lot of attention to, zero-day options. These things are highly speculative. They're now more than 50% of all options traded on Wall Street. So zero-day options is basically betting what is the price of this going to be at the end of today. That's more than 50% of all options traded on Wall Street.
Yeah.
And so you see the rise. There's a Wall Street Journal reporter, this woman, Gunjan Banjari, who's done a fantastic job. She's talked to thousands of retail investors, and I did an interview with her. And you know one of the things she told me? Guess where she met a lot of them? AA meetings, Gamblers Anonymous. And so what happened is people were in there, and some people are addicted to sports gambling. Some people are addicted to Las Vegas.
You may like her predictions.
And then
I'm interested. I'm subscribing. Thank you. But Rob, you aren't verified yet, Rob.
And then some people are there and they're addicted to options trading. They're addicted to day trading. And so I think that this is, a blessing and a curse. As you have access, now people are participating, but also you're going to get downside, right? You're going to see these people come in, and some of these articles you read, and people are like, hey, I put $20,000 into some stock, and by the way, I only make $40,000 a year.
Right.
So there's a downside to it, but I do think that the more people who have access to the market, obviously, the better for the average
the whole
person.
concept of investing is it should not be fun, right? Like the whole
should be boring.
It should be watching paint dry. It should be watching grass grow. Like that's what I learned. Not day trading, decade trading. A lot of people have become very impatient. This microwave culture.
On Monday, I introduced you to the FLBs, the FLB1 shoes, Future Looks Bright shoes. And let me tell you what happened since that day. For black shoes that we had, I'll give you the report here. For black size, Rob, I think you have it as well. Size 8 and 11.5 sold out. If you place the order now, it's pre-order. It'll get here second week of December. For brown, 8, 12, and 13 sold out. Navy, size 13, sold out. Everything you order on those sizes will be pre-order. I shared with you the fact that a lot of the sizes are going to sell out. A lot of them, there's only 4 or 5 or 6 remaining for the shoe sizes. So for some of you that didn't see what we talked about on Monday, for the last 25 years, I speak a lot on stage. And some of the events, whether it's my insurance company or the Vol Conference or BPW, at some events I can speak 40 hours where I'm on my just standing up talking and I'm wearing dress shoes and they're uncomfortable. I wanted to find a shoe that can combine both the comfort and the technology and the authentic Italian leather, the trainers, because I love those shoes. I didn't want it to be too heavy where I'm feeling like I'm carrying weight. We went to Italy. We put a shoe together called the FLBs. And I want to show you this clip one more time. And then I'm going to show you one other clip. And then we'll give you some intel and then we'll get right into the stories. Go ahead and Rob, play this clip, please. When we set out to create a shoe that blends comfort, function, and luxury, we had the choice to make it fast. We had the choice to make it cheap. We chose neither. Instead, we chose Tuscanero. We chose true Italian craftsmanship, each pair touched by 50 skilled hands. We chose patience, spending 2 years perfecting every detail, and we chose the finest quality at every step. Introducing the Future Looks Bright collection. Not rushed, not disposable, not ordinary. Rather, intentional, luxurious, timeless. So just so you know, if you're wondering, Pomp came in here, he saw all the shoes, and he kind of goes like this. He's like,
I looked under the table.
He's auditing me. He's like, let me see if this guy's a product of the product. 24 days in a row I've been wearing this, just so you know that. 24 days in a row I've been wearing this. No matter where I go, last night I was at Casa D'Angelo, I was wearing this. The most comfortable trainer shoes with the Italian leather. And again, if you haven't placed the order for yourself or your spouse, this was us at the Vol Conference. Rob, if you want to play this clip, the launch of it when we did it here was so exciting. People were coming from all over the world. That was a 10-foot shoe that we put up. But guys coming back, how comfortable it is, how light it is, feeling the super foam at the bottom of it, taking pictures of it, sitting in boardrooms with your feet up where somebody says, wait a minute, does that say Future Looks Bright on the bottom of the shoe? Yes, let's make a deal happen, right? There's a certain sense of optimism when you're wearing these Future Looks Bright shoes. So again, the black and brown, if you order them, we have them now. If they're sold at pre-order, because you'll get it second week of December. The white, when it comes out, it will not last because, you know, there's a certain material that we mixed it with. The white is absolutely ridiculous. This will come out second week of December with the navy blue. The navy blue and the white will come second week of December. The black and the brown are here for you to order, depending on your size. So go to vtmerch.com, place your order, and you can learn more about the comparison of how these shoes compare to a Tom Ford, Rob, if you can go a little bit lower, to a Gucci, to a Berluti, to a Ferragamo, to a Xenia. Make the comparison for yourself. Instead of spending $950, $1198, $95, $840, it's built in the same exact factories as Gucci, Louis Vuitton, same ones, $599. I just put them on this morning. It took me half a second to put them on, and driver came, picked me up, got in the car, came over here. So if you haven't placed the order yet for yourself or somebody else, place the order, go to vtmerch.com. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.